family, welcome to DeHaven Family Farm. My name's Chris. We are a first generation farm here in the mountains of northeastern Pennsylvania. And today I'm going to show you, we got our corn maze, our mini corn maze behind us. It's a little less than half an acre. Let me show you what we got going on here at Skidsteer. So this corn here in this corn maze, we do a pumpkin patch, wagon ride, some activities here in the fall as part of our farm. And this is our mini corn maze that we have. So what I was hoping to do with this corn was to use my corn picker and actually pick the corn and either sell it or maybe feed it to the pigs or something. But the problem is that this is hard to do with one hand here, guys. So the problem is this corn does not want to dry down. I don't know if you can see, it's a little bit dented, but it is just as squishy and mushy as can be. So there's absolutely no way that this would store properly anywhere. So I can't pick it. I don't want to wait any longer to take care of it because we've already had one snow and who knows when the next one's going to come. So I'd rather brush cut it down into the ground, let all the nutrients go back into the soil here. This corn was planted, it is a grain corn. It was planted the 4th of July for the second time. The first time we planted it, the crows came and ate a bunch of it, and we had an issue with the corn planter at that point. It did not plant deep enough, and of course then the crows came and dug around and took most of our kernels. So we had to replant. It was replanted on the 4th of July, and that may be one reason that it did not dry down in time. I'm not sure. It's a new variety for this year that we tried. It was a nice sturdy stalk. I mean, you can see the top 3 feet is missing now because we've had a bunch of storms, but it was a nice sturdy stalk. It did put on a pretty good ear. I was quite impressed. You know, for our corn maze here, we didn't actually care if it had ears on it. We just needed a nice tall stalk. So we took the chance right on the 4th of July, replanted it, and we had a pretty good crop. But anyway, so I'm just gonna go ahead and brush cut it here with the skid steer and the brush cutter. Just let everything kind of go back, all the nutrients go back into the ground. We may put our pigs out here to nose around on it after too. So what can you do? But we're gonna make the best of it here, and we're gonna go ahead and get started on this. So stick around, we're gonna have some interesting footage. I have never cut corn stalks with this brush cutter before. This is a low flow machine. This is not a high flow machine. I'm not sure how it's gonna handle it. I'm gonna go slow because I want it to chop everything up pretty good and pretty low. So let's give it a try, see what happens. we have it. The goats are down there at the barn wondering what in the world I am doing here. Sorry, trying to get my glove back on. So here we go. I did have one issue, and it wasn't a big issue, but because these stalks are so old and brittle, they were falling over onto the machine. So every so often I'd stop, clean them off, and then just set the mower down, the cutter down on them. So I'll do that with this pile here too when the video's done. But there's the rest of that. We'll spin around. Sorry. We got all this done. Overall, I think it did a good job. I think it actually chopped up the stalks and things better than my 3-point brush cutter. You know, it didn't chop up the cob. I mean, that actually is pretty good. I didn't expect it to chop up the cob like a corn chopper would, but it started breaking it down here pretty good. So all of this can start decomposing, and we'll decide what we're gonna do. If we put the pigs on it to nose around, we'll probably leave it as is and let them kind of work it. If we decide not to put the pigs in here, because there's some fencing requirements that we'll have to do before we can do that, and it depends on what the weather does. So if we don't put the pigs in here, I will probably run over this either with the disc once or the rototiller for the skid steer once, very lightly, just to get a little bit of this chopped up more and to get some of the dirt worked onto it to help it break down over the winter time, so we don't have too much to deal with next year. So that's kind of gonna be the plan. I hope you guys will follow along on our, like I said, our first generation farm here. Trials and tribulations of growing, staying in business. I hope you guys will follow along, so please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Ooh, I almost can't talk there. The bell icon, which will notify you when I have upcoming videos. The thumbs up if you wouldn't mind, I would really appreciate that. Questions, comments down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. I sure hope to see y'all on the next video.